So, as we become more intentional about our lives, one of the things that a lot of us want to move towards is a more balanced life. But I don't want it to be one of those things that we just say or set the intention to, and then we don't actually know what does it even mean to have a balanced life? How can we achieve it? And the most exciting thing about this is the effects that you will have in life by having a more balanced life. We all are here to create the desired life that we were meant to live, and Source very much wants us to have that life. And the way that we achieve it, one of the main ways, is through a balanced life. I find that when we know exactly what it means to have something and we know how to achieve it, but then also when we know what effects are going to come from it and we start to implement it into our life and we see those effects happening, because they will very clearly happen, we become more intentional about it and putting effort into it. And intention is so important, but I hear a lot of people say that intention is all you need, and you need more than just the intention and energy, which is very important, but you also need the physical action. So we're getting into the physical action of creating a more balanced life. Now, you may be here because you've heard me talk about the 8 areas of life and you want to know more about those. And that is really the key ticket to how we get a balanced life, is those 8 areas. So when we have a more balanced life, what will happen is we start to become more fulfilled and we'll start to feel less and less burnt out. A lot of us live in a state of burnout. I've been very guilty of it many times, of being very burnt out and thinking I need a vacation, and just coming back to find that that wasn't really what I needed at all. And then I was doing, my purpose in life, doing this business, and I feel that burnout. It's because I was lacking balance. So we have 8 areas of life, and I want you to think of them like in a row together. And what happens is most of us prioritize 2 to 3 areas, 4 at the most, but we will really let the other areas go to the wayside. And what happens is those areas we let go by the wayside over here, they're going to start to drop and they pull down the other areas. But when you bring up all 8 areas, they will start to slowly climb together. And it just makes for a much more enjoyable experience here in the human experience when you have all of them balanced and in a line, and then they are moving incrementally up together. So what are the 8 areas? I'm going to go through them and then I will tell you exactly what each means. So the 8 areas of life, we have physical, mental, spiritual, finances, career and vocation, passion, hobby, family, and social. So you can pretty much, or you can, not pretty much, you can sum up everything that you do in life and your priorities into these 8 areas. So first of all is physical. And if you're thinking that it is the physical body, you would be on track, but it has a little bit more to do with that. So first it is physical body. So this is your wellness. This is your nutrition. It is how you treat your body, how you take care of your body, your exercise, your supplements, your wellness. That all falls under physical. Now, also in physical is going to be your surrounding, your physical surrounding. So the office, your home, your car, your actual physical surrounding. And also we include your connection to earth and to nature and to Mother Earth into physical. So any time spent in nature, the connection that you have with nature and Mother Earth, that's going to also fall under physical. Next, we have mental. This is going to be any educational avenue that you embark on. So you watching this video right now is mental. The courses that you take, the webinars, the YouTube videos you watch to educate yourself, any type of education, nonfiction books, audiobooks, podcasts, anything that is educating you, stimulating you mentally, and growing your intellect and intelligence, that will fall under mental. Third, we have spiritual. So this is your connection to your higher self and to your intuition. Now, spiritual, a lot of people I know have religious trauma and they think I'm going to be talking about religion, but it's not. It is your connection to your intuition. Are you connecting with your intuition? How are you letting your intuition and your higher self lead and guide you in life? Are you in alignment with your intuition? Are you trusting your intuition? This is all going to fall under spiritual. And then also your connection and your communication and that direct connection that you have with source. Okay. Now we have finances. So this is exactly what you think. It is your money. It is your cash flow. It is what you have in your bank. It is your investments. It is if you have any metals, like precious metals, like gold or silver, that's all going to fall under finances. Now, I also put jobs that you are doing just to make money. So I dog sat for a really long time, and that was one of the ways that I increased my finances. It fell under finances. It did not fall under the next category, which is career vocation. Career vocation is going to be your soul path, your soul pull, your purpose on this earth. We were all given a divine purpose from source and our higher selves to come and deliver to this earth in this lifetime. And that is your career vocation, whatever you are meant to do on this earth. Now, finances and career vocation, I like to talk about them together because sometimes you're going to have jobs that fall under finances, and then some of those jobs are going to fall under your vocation. It just depends on if it's connected to your soul path, soul purpose. We could argue that every job that you have does play into your soul path, soul purpose because you're going to gain attributes and knowledge and skill sets from it, but use your intuition to see if something falls under the finances or the career vocation there. But if you're just doing something like I did, dog sitting, it's going to fall under finances. Okay. Now we have family. So this is, yes, your blood family. It is also if you have a romantic partner that you are engaged to be married, that you are married to, or that you live with. Family is also going to include your pets. And what's really cool about family is it also includes your soul family. So if you have friends in your life that are no longer friends, they are actual family. I have a lot of friends that I call my chosen family, and those fall under family for me. Now, if they aren't that chosen family, that soul family that we have, then they're going to fall under social. So social are your social interactions, these social friends that you have. This is also going to be your dating life. So a romantic partner that you are not engaged to marry, that you do not live with, and that you're not married to, that will fall under social. And then finally, we have the one that is forgotten so often, especially in a society where we are in the grind all the time. It's passion, hobby. Now, your passion hobby is going to be something that you internally enjoy just for you. And it's going to be something that you can gain skill sets in and grow in. Okay? It's also not going to be anything you make money from or have a physical outcome from. So if you are an artist and you start selling your art is no longer your passion hobby. You are making money from it. It will fall under finances or career vocation at this point. Probably both. Some things will fall under both, but passion hobby also does not have a physical outcome. So I struggled with this one for a long time. I fought my mentor and my teachers on this one. I really wanted working out to be one of my top passion hobbies. And it's not because I was getting physical outcome from that. So no finances, no physical outcome, and something you just enjoy doing that you are growing and building skill sets in. So we have all of these 8 areas. Why is it so important for us to keep them balanced? Well, like I said, a lot of people prioritize a few of the areas and then they let the other ones go by the wayside. And because Source wants us to have a very balanced life, Source gives us this template to having the most fulfilled life with the 8 areas, then it will actually show us when we are not prioritizing or not balancing those areas, because it's going to pull down the other areas. What I see more often than not is that people really prioritize romantic relationships, finances, their career, and physical. Those are pretty much the top ones for the majority of people. And they spend all of their time and energy into those that they prioritize. They let the other ones go to the wayside. And like I said, it's going to pull them down. And I want you to look at this like a gift, because you will live a more fulfilling life when you are investing yourself into all of the 8 areas. So this is a gift to us from Source to show us when we are out of balance by it pulling down the other areas. We will have what are known as reflections in an area that we prioritize from an area that we are not prioritizing. So for example, there was a time period where, so finances are one of my top priorities, because I know that finances, money is an amplifier, and it helps me to reach more lives and do more good in the world the more money I have. And so finances is a priority for me. I had a time period where I had a contract as a freelance employee, and the guy that had hired me was all of a sudden not paying me. There had been no issue before. I knew that it wasn't a financial issue with him. He just wasn't following through on bringing me a check for the work I had done. And I would try every day for weeks to try and get this check, and I was getting so frustrated. So I have to look and see, what area am I abandoning in life that is reflecting as abandonment in the area of finances? And what I found was, at the same time period that he had stopped paying me and wouldn't bring me a check, I had also stopped doing a daily walk, which is one of my physical activities that are very important to me. I had stopped doing that and gotten busy with other stuff. And because I was abandoning that area of life, I was getting abandonment in another area of life. So the areas you tend not to care about as much or give yourself to, once you do something in that area, it's going to reflect in the other area. It's a very, very cool thing. And when you start to have issues with finances, with your romantic relationship, with your career, you're going to probably be able to see, okay, this is coming from another area of life. I have abandoned my passion hobby. I have abandoned doing physical activity. I haven't been taking care of my body. It will show up in another area. Again, you may be thinking, this is very frustrating. I don't want to give my time to a passion hobby, or I don't have time to educate myself any more than I do. I'm an entrepreneur maybe, or I have a family that I really am busy with. But again, part of this human experience is having that very balanced life. And so we want to make sure we're equal between those. Now, this can be very challenging, and it doesn't happen overnight. It does take time and intention and effort to get them more in balance. But the more and more you get them in balance, the more fulfilled and joyful your life is going to be. You are not meant to be here to suffer, and this is a great way to get out of suffering. Another great thing about the 8 areas of life, and the reason that they reflect each other, is because they are there to show us where we have limiting beliefs overall. And they will enhance the other areas by getting rid of those limiting beliefs. So let's say we have a limiting belief of not showing up. And I did this, I'll give you an example. I did this with mountain biking. I wanted to start mountain biking as a passion hobby, but I was afraid to show up. I was afraid to go to the course and just look like I didn't know what I was doing. I was afraid to fall in front of people. I was afraid that people would make fun of me for going too slow, or they would get annoyed with me going too slow on the course. And it just really, there was fear there of me showing up fully. There was fear there that I would look stupid. There was fear that I would get made fun of. Well, guess what? If you have that fear in the passion hobby area, you most likely have that fear in every other area. You do have it in at least one or two, but it's often in every other area. So how would that affect my career? Well, I show up to do these videos. I have a podcast. I teach classes. I sit with clients one-on-one, all of these different ways that I have to show up and be in my full self. And I have fear of showing up. So when I'm doing my passion hobby and I'm showing up and I'm getting rid of that fear, I'm seeing that, yes, I was afraid of that, but it's okay. It's okay if somebody thinks I'm stupid. It's okay if I fall or fail. I can get through it. That's going to build up this resiliency and tenacity in myself so that when I go to another area of life, like career and vocation, I'm not afraid to fall. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid for people to see me. So we can see, it kind of gives us relief when there's a limiting belief that we're not really seeing in one area of the life that we need to get rid of in order to excel in that area. Another area will show that to us. So like I said, it's a little difficult to get started with this, but I have a tool that you can use, okay? Now, once you develop your intuition or you work with an intuitive like myself, then you can get the exact numbers of how much time you should be spending on things every week. So if you have a passion hobby that you should be spending 20 minutes every day or 15 total hours a week or only 3 hours a week, whatever it is, an intuitive can tell you that. But in the beginning, when we don't have our intuition fully developed, if that is you, that's fine. We can start to use a tool to bring more balance into our life. What I want you to do is set up your 8 days, so a little over a week, set them up where one day is dedicated to one of the 8 areas. And you're going to dedicate 1 hour each of those days to that. Again, with intuition, you can start to intuit what day would be best for your passion hobby, for your family, for social, whatever it is. But just pick a day that works for you for each day and spend 1 hour on that area of life that day. So let's say that social is your area of life that you've picked for that day. Okay, how can I spend an hour on social today? I'm going to call my friend and catch up with them. I'm going to go to lunch with another friend. I'm going to go to dinner. I'm going to go to this concert with some friends, whatever it is. You're going to pick something that you can put time and attention specifically that day. Do it for 8 days, and then after 8 days, you're going to start over. This will start to bring more balance in your life because you are being aware. That is one really great key to doing this, is being aware and putting in that tension. That's half the battle. And then as we are putting time into it, that's our physical action that's going to create more of that balance.